So while driving the other day, somebody decided that they needed to make their mirror hit my mirror at speed, and now I got a problem to fix. This collision had originally broken all the glass in this mirror, but I got myself a temporary top piece of glass that double-sided tape stuck into there, but now I want to fix everything. So we're going to replace that mirror whole housing, the whole kit and caboodle. So I went on Amazon and I bought this bad boy. It's a whole replacement mirror assembly. Part number's right there. I think it was about 90 bucks shipped to my house, and I thought that was a pretty good deal. So this is what I bought. It is quite a bit heavier than I expected it to be. That is a large piece of cast there that bolts to the truck. It's actually a lot of metal in there, so you get a decent amount of weight for your money. This guy here just pops right off. It's got two little clips that hold it on. That's all that keeps that from coming off. These top and bottom rubber grommets need to be pulled out. The one in the middle that I'm pulling out there's nothing behind, so I stuff that right back in. This weird little piece of fabric or tape, whatever it is, has one of the bolts behind it. I guess nuts, has one of the nuts behind it. So I'm gonna loosen these guys up here and start pulling them off. And I'm about to make a mistake. That top nut there does not hold the mirror on, but more on that in a minute. These nuts down here that I'm about to take out, the ones that are in the door, like this, you've got to be really careful getting that nut out. I'm hand spinning them off with a socket and an extension, and then I am ever so slowly, like I'm playing the game Operation, pulling those nuts out. If you drop one of them, it falls down into the door panel, and then you've got to take your interior door panel skin off to find that nut in the bottom of the door. So be as gentle as possible. You don't want to lose one. There's some sort of strange nut with a little washer attached. So I removed that top nut that does not hold the mirror on, and now I am trying to remove the mirror, expecting 4 bolts to remove it, and it is not working. So after pulling that little piece of tape off, I find the 4th nut that actually holds the mirror on. So after we get this removed, that mirror will come free. And again, I am being as cautious as possible because I do not want to drop that nut down into the interior of that door, because that will cause me extra work to get that out that I do not want to go through. And the nut is out, and the mirror is off. Half the project is done. I'm going to pull this foam off and insert that back on in the new mirror, since the new mirror doesn't have one. Just a quick looky-loo around where the mirror mounts, just in case you're curious what it looks like before you open it up. And while we're taking a minute to look at this, and say if you're enjoying this or getting something useful out of it, I'd ask you to consider hitting the like button. And maybe you've seen a couple of these videos and you're enjoying them or getting something useful out of them, I'd say consider subscribing. If you would, I'd greatly appreciate it. So I decided to put these two mirrors side by side for a minute and see if there's any major differences that I can notice. And in all honesty, it's a pretty good knockoff of the original. So here we go. We're going to stuff on this piece of foam. I have no idea what it does or why I'm putting it on there, but if it was good enough for the original, it's good enough for this one. Drops right in pretty easy. Don't have to fuss too much, but if you do have the vent shades like I've got, you got to make sure that you slip the bracket of the mirror underneath the vent shade. And that's it. You just start putting the nuts back on one at a time. I just hand tightened a few to make sure it stayed put before I started torquing anything down. But you can kind of do what you please when you're putting yours on. Tighten them down right away or not, it's entirely up to you. I can't imagine it would make a huge difference. And here I am, putting that nut back on that I took off in the first place for no good reason because I didn't pay attention to what nuts held the mirror on. There was a couple of these that were almost hand loose when I went to take them off, so I'm not torquing the hell out of these. I'm taking it easy. I figure it's just holding the mirror to the door. It doesn't need a zillion pounds of torque, so that's all I'm using to put them back on. Just a little bit more than hand tight. And this doesn't stick anymore. So that's not going back on. After that, just line up the tabs on this here. Got two of them, one up high, one down low. Slip them into that slot and give it a little whack. That's all reinstalled. Pop your little rubber grommets back in, and you've got everything back to where it needs to be. Everything moves around, mirror extends out just like the original. Looks like it'll do. Some fresh glass. Thanks for watching.